Hey, Jaren, you played most of the year down the stretch. Bismack was gone, X was gone, Steven never played this season. You were biggest guy on the floor pretty much all the time for the Grizzlies. How important is it to you? How important do you think it is, not just to you, but for the team, to add a more traditional center to the mix next season?
Define traditional, really doesn't mean anything at this point. You add anybody who's going to come in and produce is the whole equation. Whatever is going to work with our group at that time and whatever is going to sync us, a little more together is what's going to be the key here. Like traditional, non-traditional, that means less and less every year. So it's whoever wants to come and contribute and want to be here. That's going to be the key.
Jaren, in the back. You said on Paul George's podcast last summer that what happened against the Lakers humbled you guys, but you thought it would be really good for you guys as a group. I'm curious, this year you guys experienced losing a lot for the first time in a couple of years. Circumstances obviously played a big part in that, but did this year and experience that light that fire even more going to next season?
Yeah, for sure. You have to have that takeaway and just remember everything that happened, be able to process it the right way so you can use it as energy and motivation. There's probably no more added needed motivation from forever based off this year and the year prior. So we don't even need that anyway. It's just extra. So I feel you, though.
You and John, Des, obviously the core of this team now all on major deals. How much do you anticipate working with them this offseason when they're able to get back on the court? And I guess how do you feel still about the core of this team and the opportunity to win a championship in this window where you guys are all signed?
Yeah, we've been with each other for a while now, and we know what we can do when we're all out there. So I think we have a lot of confidence in that aspect, but we know that we also have to take our games to a new level to be able to win in the postseason as a unit. It's not enough to just be able to win all these games in the regular season or be a top 4 seed and, go out in the first round. It's just not enough. It's not acceptable anymore. So I'm looking forward to a summer of work, when I'm around them, when I'm not around them, whatever. We're always in communication about what we're doing. We always just getting on each other, pushing each other to work out. Like everybody's working out every single day. No one ever misses a day around here. And if anybody ever thinks about missing a day, everyone's gonna get on each other about it, and it's usually pretty funny. But in reality, that's kind of like what you need. Like it's really a competition. Like it's funny. It happens all the time. Like if Des sees me coming early one day, he wants to come in earlier the next day. I want to come in even earlier than him. I'm texting the staff trying to, find out when Des is coming in. Sneak Des coming even earlier than Des. I saw his workout was 10 minutes longer than mine. Scheduled. I called him. I'm like, why is your workout longer than mine? Stuff like that. 12's in here every single day. 12's on the bike for no reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not no reason, but for no reason. He's going to work out for no reason. Around guys who just psychos, man. There's nothing else we know. There's nothing else we want to do. There's really nothing else. We tried to do other stuff. So we tried hobbies. It didn't work. You know how it is.
Hey, Jaren, you probably had your best overall consistent game for the longest stretch of the season this year. What can you do to build on that to take you to another level next season?
Train, man. Put a lot of training sessions together. Improve on my reads and my feel for the game and my overall patience and balance and strength. And not try to reinvent everything every year, but add little things to help me when I get in my prime. They all sync up, and it's not gonna be just this summer. It's gonna be summers after, and they're gonna layer up and stuff like that.
Jaren, historically, guys like KG and Duncan, Rasheed Wallace, they kind of resisted the center tag, right? Shifting the center, even though their game, was predicated on playing in the post and moving outside. How much is that, or is that any mental barrier for you? Do you feel like you are a 5 in this league, or do you throw the numbers out when it comes to 4/5?
I definitely throw the numbers out. I don't. It depends on the game for me. I mean, I'm bringing it up at times, so I don't. You know what I mean? If you're getting it in off the inbound, there's versatility and there's stretch bigs, and then there's getting it off the inbound and bringing it up and running a play. So I mean, there's just differences. I don't think the game will ever go back to that. I mean, you see a lot of bigs on what they're doing. They're pulling from half, and they're 7-4. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, the game will never, ever be the same. It will never go back to any of that. The training's too different. The positions are just a formality for plays and directions and how to teach spacing at this point. It's whatever you want to run, whatever gets you the win with the personnel that you have.
Jaren, this season had to take somewhat of a toll on you mentally between friends and teammates being traded away, all of the injuries. But whenever we talk to you, you always seem positive. How did you stay positive, and do you feel like you've grown mentally?
Yeah, when I talk to you guys, I'm still at work, so you're still in that mode of thinking forward and thinking the next step is always supposed to be positive. Thinking negative isn't gonna do you anything. Plus, it's pretty annoying. So, everybody's human. Everybody has thoughts that all the time. The day we found out about 12, it was a low day for everybody. I think, I don't think anybody felt good. You didn't feel good when X left, didn't feel good when D-Rod left, didn't feel good about Steve. There's so many different things, you know what I mean? But there's still guys here working. There's no reason to bring anybody down, you know what I mean? That's not how we're built. So how do I stay positive, man? You just got to do it. It's uncomfortable at first because you just want to sink into your emotions on how you feel about something and be stubborn enough to feel it. But, once you work on it, it gets easier over time for sure.
Hi. During your rookie year, you and Yuda were the first to came to the gym early. Could you please talk about Yuda's work ethic?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I remember a time when we were both working out a whole lot. Like I was coming back from injury or something. He was just training, and an example I could think of is like we had this little bike test, and I did the bike test, and I think I worked pretty hard. Like I would back my work ethic pretty well, and I got a great score or whatever, and then he did it and got a better score than me. It was crazy. And I'm like, to get a better score than me, like I know how hard I went. And so then I went back, did it again. I was like, all right, I want to do it again. Then I did it again and beat his score. Kind of like saw him in the hallway and like mentioned it to him. He took that real personal and decided to completely obliterate the score. It wasn't even like he beat it by that much, but I had already like, he did it and like collapsed on the floor, like trying to beat that record on a test for a bike that doesn't really mean anything. Like, but it still stands like in the records in the database. I mean, no one's gonna touch that. He's at the top, and it's him, me, and then everybody else. And I mean, dude is different. I mean, he probably doesn't have an off switch. He has a lot on his shoulders, from what I've seen when we were in FIBA, just what he has to carry, kind of just being that little jewel over there everybody loves, and that's got to be challenging, like, all the time, It's kind of like being the chosen one, and he wears that. So you gotta respect that at all times.
Two quick ones, real quick. You mentioned FIBA. Are you planning to take part in Team USA training camp and all that stuff, trying to make the Olympic team this time?
Hey, if I get the call, I'm there. That's what it is. I don't know when the list drops. You probably get the list before me.
I
At this
think
point.
you're on the list. I think
You
you're
think I'm on the list?
Yeah,
For
I
what
think-
list?
like the training, like training camp. I don't know.
You got the list?
They put it out like several months ago, I think.
For real? All right. Well.
Or like you were on that like list of.
Hey, yeah. I was in. If it was months ago, I was in the season. I probably wasn't even thinking about it. To be fair, you talking about the finalist list? Yeah, the finalist list. Stop getting my hopes up, man.
Okay.
It's a different list. If my phone's not ringing, like I got Grant, I got Steve, I got Spo, everybody. I just spent a whole summer with these dudes.
All right.
They know where I live. Please, it's whatever.
Gotcha. So you're in if they want you in. Yeah.
Of course, I need a lick back, man. Came back with nothing.
And then you mentioned it was a low day when Ja got hurt. You all found out Ja was out for the season. He's obviously been through a lot the last couple years. How do you think he's going to come out of this next season? What do you think we're going to see from him moving forward?
Well, you got a sample size of it, so it's not like a mystery. He's definitely dude didn't play for however long, came back and had a game winner and a comeback victory on the road. So, it is what it is. Take that for what you want.